welcome to our second of Smart Men's Business here in Smart Info TV. Well, today is the 1st of Feb. I'm really sorry because I've not yet digested the month of February. Yes, but just to let you know, today is the 1st for those that are also in the same, kind of situation I'm in. Today is the 1st of February, and yesterday marked the end of the crazy month.
But to be honest, this January was actually friendly.
Oh, yeah.
It felt like it was 20 days. Yeah, it
For
was
you.
less. I guess because I was coming to work every day. You know, when you're lousy and you don't have a lot to keep you busy, so you feel like, it is a lot.
It depends on where you are. If you're in business, every day you're coming in and getting customers, it becomes like 90 days in January. So definitely, I understand what people be going through, but we're always here to keep you motivated and inspired. I think, but about now, we're going to first look into that. We shall be back. Well, of course, hard work pays off if you're not if you're patient enough. And of course, for every step that you make, you have to have a plan. Well, of course, Jeff Bezos, for those that do not know, the owner and founder of Amazon, once said that life is too short to hang around with people who aren't resourceful. I've been telling people over time, and this has been one of my, I don't know, New Year's resolution or something like that, hanging around with people that are resourceful. People that I can run to for assistance. In terms of, most of us tend to think about finances and all that, but in terms of guidance, in terms of mentorship, in terms of knowledge, so I want to keep, for every person to grow, you have to keep around people who are resourceful.
And of course, that should go to our graduates.
Oh, yeah.
Don't start saying, I'm going to hang with my friends because we're doing the same course.
You're all going to be an employee. Well, yes. If you lie in the same category of people who are idle, who do nothing, trust me, those are not your people.
Yeah.
Be around people that are going to teach you, that you're going to benefit out of them.
Yeah, people that are going to show you other people that can actually help you get to the top of the mountain.
People like, the bar is open, free beers, bucket night. No. That is all for the weekend. But during weekdays, get serious. Hang around, network with people.
Even the weekends when you go for those bucket nights, when you're there, they say you don't have to be serious all the time. In those bars where you are, you can get contacts of people. Yes, you're having the drunkard talk, but of course, these people at the end of the day, they're going to help you.
What happens in the bar stays in the bar.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, you're going to connect to that person. They'll be like, they will not.
You're that person.
They will not offer you the help, a kind of help, but network.
connect
You go
you.
to these conferences where there are serious people. Talk to these people. That is where you're going to get the resourceful people from. There are places where, okay, they are reasonable. They are really big people, but then they wouldn't take you serious as well.
There are people you're not supposed to keep in your life.
Yeah.
There are people who are supposed
That
to be
company.
high, and that is it. Because there are people you would have in your life, and at the end of the day, these are the people who are always calling, help me with 20,000, 10,000 at the end of the day. These are not the kind of people we need. Of course, we need people who are going to say, oh, there's a job opportunity here.
Exactly.
You need, there's a conference here, there's a seminar here that can
those are the
actually
kind
help
of
you build
friends,
on your
yes, that
business.
you should hang
So
around
those are the people we actually need to be having.
Yes, and of
Yes.
course, you also said your brand is what you offer people, what other people say about you when you are not in the room. Your brand, what are you known for? Yeah, when you get out of the room, what do they say? Like, yeah, that courageous woman. That is the kind of standard you should set for yourself. You know, when they say your presence, your absence should be felt.
Yes.
There are people's absence, like, okay.
The person leaves and it's like the person didn't go.
Yeah, like they don't feel it.
Life goes on.
Life goes on. But there's always that one person. Even when they walk into the room, you can feel, you can
Their
absorb
presence.
that kind of power. And that is what I want people to believe in themselves. Be confident. Walk with your
Positive
head-
energy.
Walk with your head held high. Command it. Trust me, people will listen to you. Well, that is it for our inspirational moments. So definitely hang around resourceful people, because that is how you're going to get the kind of connections that you want. Bagamba no, that is where you're going to get all those connections that you hope for. But anyway, well, after that, and well, now today, as of today, Uganda's corruption index is at 26. It has not shifted from 2022 to 2023 last year, assessing our performance in trying to fight corruption. Now, Charlotte, if you look at the Auditor General's report, and of course the IGG telling us that Uganda loses 9.1 trillion a year to corruption, and you look at the Auditor General's report, what does that mean? Okay, let's leave alone South Sudan and Burundi, and there are those ones that are also fighting their own kind of battles. But look at Uganda. 26, we're among the top corrupt countries. Okay, there are no ranks, but we are among the top 30. Yes. So you can imagine the Auditor General's report every year he's reporting money missing, ghost workers, every now and again. So what does that mean for our country, Uganda?
It means as a country, we are still going to be in the same place.
We're still going to be in the same place. And of course, either way, I realize people in Uganda have, I don't know, maybe they fear to say it out, but then someone will be like, the challenge is that we have unemployment, we do not have
But they'll only say that when they're sitting with Mercy somewhere.
When we don't have provision to services, but you forget the reason as to why you're unemployed. The reason as to why you do not have these, you cannot access these services, maybe healthcare, infrastructure, it's because there is corruption. Yes.
At the end of the day, it all goes back to corruption, because with corruption, everything else goes
Because even for a Ugandan to access these health services, the services, bribery.
Yes, you have to pay the nurse something to help you to go quickly.
Yes, even you're in the line and there are 10 people behind giving something to go to be the first on the line. So it has become the norm. Someone, the traffic officer stops you, and you know.
That is why I asked you, where is money evil? You people call it evil, but see, I've come, there's a long line and I have money. They've put me at the front.
Do you know why it is evil? It's because people that are supposed to be benefiting are not getting. Look at PDM, the PDM money. 604 beneficiaries in different PDM circles had ineligible and non-existent projects. That means people, there were ghost people, there were no circles. Yeah, and the people that were supposed to benefit did not get the kind of benefits. That means, imagine I'll go put my relatives there and they're going to be beneficiaries. Everyone, 1 million, 1 million, 1 million, 1 million. They already have. Why would I need to add them? But then, there's scandals that have happened over time. And of course, there are scandals that happen, the perpetrators are got, but there is no case in court. The one case that we got recently with the iron sheets, where is it? The person is, they detain the person has
the person is already back to work.
Very well in prison. You rob a person.
But like I had said earlier, even them coming out to give us a report, even them coming out in public to tell us that 9 trillion is going to ghost workers. Where? Are they not even ashamed to come out and make such a statement? They should be ashamed of themselves. Because at the end of the day, this is not the first time they're telling us they're paying ghost workers. It is like the 10th or the 9th time. They keep saying, our money, it is, you know, there is a lot of corruption. We put this money, and then before you know it, we've seen the government payroll. There are so many ghost workers that we have. They're like 100 and something or 200 and something. How do you come and tell the citizens, you as people who are saying you're fighting corruption, you the same people who told us to get national IDs, you the same people who are saying you put up cameras to know everyone in the country, how do you stand and make such a statement? How?
Because you're going to accept it as Ugandans, you're going to be like, okay.
Yeah, this is Uganda. But at the end of the day, as Ugandans, when they make such statements, we usually say, yeah, you know, that is Uganda. But anyways, even
the corruption, injustice, delivery mechanisms appropriately affects the poorest citizens and those that depend on public services. At the end of the day, you who has been getting these services is going to be, we're trying to fight poverty, but then we're increasing, the poverty rates are increasing. Why? Because the finances that are supposed to help these, we're talking about the smallholder farmers, those people that are into micro societies, they're not getting what they need. So you cannot expect a farmer to produce effectively, produce productively, you're not giving them anything. Do you know how much seedlings cost? Seedlings are quite expensive.
Seedlings are expensive, and you have to fumigate, you have to remove the weeds, you have to make sure that the soil is good for the crop. You have to make sure you put it in the proper season, and because they know these seedlings are going to be on season that time, of course they are going to increase the rates of the seedlings. It is a lot.
Because now, if we're talking about, we've talked about this every other day on way forward on how to curb or corruption and all that. Systems have been put in place. What are these systems doing? I'm not seeing perpetrators. I'm not seeing
those systems are paying the ghost workers.
The alleged people that are corrupt.
They're supposed to, yes.
Because you cannot set up a system yet you yourself.
The system is not working for you yourself.
Yes.
Who is giving it to the citizens to actually believe in you? How are we supposed to believe in them? If they come out and say each Ugandan is going to pay 200 shillings per day because this 200 shillings is going to help us to make sure we fight corruption. How many years have we been fighting corruption? And how have we moved from the first level that we were on to the next level? There is no way they are going to start convincing people to actually get money and pay more. Because even when these government hospitals were being put there, they were telling people free medical care for the citizens of Uganda.
There is nothing like free medical care.
It is supposed
to be. Because now you're
free.
seeing a report here, Uganda's to pay 46 million
for kidney transplants.
That's why people are going to Kenya,
India,
Nairobi,
and other countries.
India for treatment. I mean, who has that kind of money? Imagine.
Because at the end of the day, if we have government hospitals, how am I going to pay 46 million? Okay, even if I have insurance, this money is a lot.
It cannot cover. Insurance cannot.
Because at the end of the day, after getting the transplant, I've paid the 46 million. I have to recover.
Yeah.
I have people to take care of. This is being unreasonable as a country.
Well, on top of that, actually, recently, they are trying to merge agencies, the different agencies that we have in Uganda. But what bothers me is the fact that, well, this could be a way of, reducing public expenditure and the like, when, of course, creating efficiency working efficiency in the government. But of course, you know, they've been postponing this for years, every year. Since 2020, they postpone. And even now, it is alleged. And of course, when the Committee of Public Service and Local Government sat, they wanted a provision of 79 billion for compensation. People were going to lose out their jobs. So me, in my head, I'm like, 79 billion. So I'm working in the private sector and I lose my job. I'm not compensated. I mean, yes, they're going to lose their jobs. Haven't they been investing?
These people, of course, they are having these jobs at the end of the day. The biggest complaint most of the Ugandans have is all the money they make from their jobs. Even these civil servants, why they are being corrupt, it is because all the money they make is hand to mouth. That means every little salary you get, you have to pay for rent, you have to pay for transport, you have to eat, you have to dress up, you have to pay for school fees. So
what is the need of compensating for someone's job loss? I mean, they've lost their job.
It is a way to tell them, just keep quiet. It is okay, let it go. Those things that, you know, just shh.
79 billion, and out of the 79 billion, I'm very sure a few of them will get. Those that are into lower positions, those that are going to lose, they won't get any compensation. So definitely, this is where the money goes. These funny, compensate the road. Now, if Uganda has constructed one of the most expensive roads, I'm expecting it to run over 50 years for it to be intact. No potholes, nothing.
But already it has potholes. How many years has it been there? Already people are dying on those roads. People are knocking. When you do an accident in such places, usually you're supposed to pay a certain fine if it is your fault. So that fine that you pay, I thought it's supposed to come back and repair that same place that you damaged. But of course, we never see these places being repaired. You know these metallic things, the barriers they put in the middle that separate the left from the right. And usually when people knock, they knock them, then they bend. When this person pays the fine, I thought they are supposed to come and make it proper again. So if it bends and someone else knocks it, that means it's going to break, and the money you've been paying is what? Going nowhere. And of course, we shall see that the financial system is not going to be stable at all if corruption is not controlled at the end of the day. We shall keep saying, oh, Ugandans, we are poor. Oh, Ugandans this. Oh, this. No. If we don't control it, we shall keep complaining as a country.
Well, now, away from complaining as a country, we've seen very many agencies have been put in place, the anti-corruption agency, where there is the IG and of course Kano Betty, yes, Nakalima also, and of course they are probing, they are investigating. I've seen many agencies, National Medical Stores, then the other URA, then the other Uganda Wildlife Authority, in very many scandals. I've not seen whatsoever where they've pointed out an individual or maybe an entire, they have not, the cases have not been in court. Where do they solve all these issues from?
From
the IGG's office?
Yes, because the public is not supposed to know those secrets that happen in there. Apparently, that's what they'll say.
Do they recover after realizing that there was?
Of course not, because even the people that they were talking about the iron sheets, they're back in office. They're representing the president in other countries to receive awards. Yes, it is happening. Because if this person is found corrupt and taking money that belongs to the citizens, money that is supposed to do something, once this person is caught and known, immediately this person is supposed to be dismissed from the office. But we keep seeing them, they are caught, and at the end of the day, this person is back in office.
Well, of course, many have come up, the ministers, and they'll talk about corruption, and they're like, oh, you have everything starts from you. Chitanika Kugwe. I mean, what do you mean, Chitanika Kugwe? Do you think I have? Do you know? Remember the report we had about ladies, patients who have been actually detained in hospitals? Do you think she has the right to speak? She doesn't.
Of course, these people are in hospital. They are being detained by the also the nurses or the doctors, because this person is not paying the hospital bills, and this is supposed to be a government hospital. At the end of the day, if this person is seen that they can't afford the medical care, let the ministry look into it. Let them find a way to help. If the bill is around 200,000, if this person cannot afford 200,000, they need to actually look into it and say, if she cannot afford this 200,000 to actually pay the medical bill, they find a way to help. Because at the end of the day, it is a government hospital. It is supposed to help Omuntu wa wansi, the person who can't help themselves. So if the person is retained in the hospital, that means each day that you stay there, that is more money. And that is being unreasonable to the person.
Well, of course, there's been, new innovations, technological innovations that have been brought into place to curb corruption in Uganda. But then I want them to kickstart so that we can have the culprits brought to book. However, and of course, organizations coming into place, the Transparency International Uganda also sets into place. But of course, at the end of the day, every organization has kind of its own in there. So definitely the people that are supposed to be spearheading the fight are also in the same boat, just like the rest of them. I mean, and actually corruption cuts across from bribery to nepotism to tribalism. I mean, there is a lot actually. Let's not rule it out, I mean, top issues. One way or the other. Bribery, nepotism, favoritism, all that is associated with corruption.
Yes.
No kind of opportunities, yes, where the person who is qualified is denied.
If you're stopped by an official and you have a meeting to get to, and let's say this traffic officer has stopped you, as a Ugandan, usually I've talked to some people, and this is the reason they would actually give you. I'm in a hurry, I don't have a driving permit, and this traffic officer has stopped me. Why wouldn't I give them a 10,000 and I hurry and I go for my meeting? At the end of the day, I just hurry and go.
And
because yes,
they ask you like
to your face. So if you feel these people, you're bribing them and you're enabling corruption in the country, you as a person, it starts from you. Make sure your permit is always in the car. Make sure your papers are in place. Make sure your insurance is paid on time. Make sure you do the proper things. So that's when they stop you. Whether what, you know they're paid by the government. They have salary. You don't give them that money. Because many of the traffic officers, their heads, when you tell them that when they come here for interviews and you talk to them, you're like, but many of your traffic officers are like this. They're like, we are trying to fight it. We are putting in place. We are finding a way.
Even if you identified one of them, will be like, okay, we shall deal with the person. And the next time you see them on road, still operating. Well, of course, as we hope to, bring a percentage of where Ugandans are in fear of, speaking out, 81%, that's a huge percentage. That means everyone does not want to speak out. Unless you're in an agency and corruption unit, maybe in the transparency.
You speak out and then they come for you.
Talk. The corruption coalition, the anti-corruption coalition, that is when you can talk. But you as an individual, you get a microphone, you have to know you have
So right now I should be scared.
Okay, you could talk about it. You could talk about it because it's an issue that is happening, but you can't pinpoint.
Of course, you can't pinpoint and mention names, because once you mention a name, I'll get out of the studio and I'm looking over my shoulder like this or every second.
Well, of course, that is it for now. Yes, and of course, we shall be looking much more deeper into this conversation at 9. Of course, shall be having in a guest and to give us more and expound more on this issue of corruption and of course the merger of different agencies, how this is going to benefit our country Uganda. Is it going to also curb on the expenditure, or it's a way of also probably fighting corruption? That and more when you stick around on Smart 24 TV. But coming up is entertainment and sports news.
Smart 24, driving business.
Luxury redefined at Seasan Hotel as you indulge in the splendor of